that we'll roll on the new moon, and Lord permit, we'll do it from here on out. Numbers chapter 10, verse 1. I tell y'all, son, there's a lot of people be around here teaching about the Sabbath supposed to be dictated according to the new moon. So right now, at this juncture, what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna look in every place where the new moon is mentioned, and we just gonna see what it say. Sometimes dudes like to read stuff into stuff because they get too smart for themselves. Now y'all know the calendar is in the congregation page or group, whatever you want to call it. I'm not finna recite it. I'm not finna go over it. You know where it's at. You want to see it, you'll go look for it. If you don't want, if you really want to see it, because it's been provided for you. Yeah. So you have no excuse for not to see it. Yeah. Numbers 10 and 1. Let's just see what it says. Well, actually, Numbers by 10 and 10. We don't want to start it first. Well, actually, make it 10 and 1, then we'll drop down. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, make thee 2 trumpets of silver. So, Lord, permit at the given time, if you walk in there and you see that we have 2 trumpets of silver and we blow it before every service, you would know why we do it, because it's right here in the book. Make thee 2 trumpets of silver of a whole piece. Thou shalt make them, that thou may use them for the calling of the assembly, and for the journeying of the camps. And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So now look at verse 10. Let's see what this man say. Also in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginning of your months, ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings, over the sacrifice of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before God. Okay then. Hold on now. Well, that's kicked me off for a change. Ain't that something? I'd have to say that's the first time that done happened. But nevertheless, we're going to keep on rolling though. It'll kick me off for a change. Alright, y'all, it kicked me off for a change. So, number 10 and 10 again. Also in the day of your gladness and in your solemn days, and in the beginning of your months, you shall blow with trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifice of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your God. I am Yah, your God. So the purpose of why we're doing this here, because when the trumpet was blown, if the trumpet was blown in the new moon, does that not mean that the congregation would assemble together on that day then? Well, that's why we gather together today on the new moon, because the law dictates it. I want y'all to look at something in Hebrews chapter 10. I didn't want y'all to know that's in the law now. Y'all understand that? So let's look at Hebrews 10 and 22. Did you eat your food, Stanky? Go eat the rest of your food. Okay, maybe not. Let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having a heart sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. Ain't that something? Because I told y'all, I was having a discussion with somebody say, you'll never stop sinning, and then you got the writer of Hebrews sitting here telling you about having your conscience, have your heart sprinkled from an evil conscience. So let's look at Ephesians chapter 5, verse 26, and let's see what would clean your conscience. Because David told you about it in Psalms 119 and 9. See, these people don't want to be clean. And they want to convince you, since they can't get right, you can't get right. Some of y'all can't get right because you're just hard-headed. You steady trying to do your own thing. You really basically, when it comes down to it, you just utterly refuse to die. Whatever it is you can do to keep your flesh alive, you try to do it to the best of your ability to keep it alive. Verse 26 of the 5th chapter. We'll make it 25 of the 5th chapter of the Epistle of Ephesians. Husbands, love your wives, even as the Messiah also loved the synagogue and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. That he might present it to himself a glorious synagogue, not having spot or wrinkle, or any such thing, but that it should be kodesh and without blemish. Now we just sat back and looked at that you would blow this trumpet over your offerings. Let's look at Deuteronomy 17:1 just for a reminder of how your offering is supposed to be. And after that, I guess we can look at Romans 12:1. We'll still hold Hebrew chapter 10, verse 22. Deuteronomy 17:1. Thou shalt not sacrifice unto Yah thy God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil favoredness, for that is an abomination unto Yah thy God. Now this man just sat back and said that your heart should be sprinkled from an evil conscience. So if you come and try to offer this to this man say that's an abomination, this thing is evil. Now you sitting there looking at your mind evil. The worst part is some of y'all try to convince yourself or try to convince others that your mind is not evil, and you know it is. You sit back like, how my mind evil? Just the way you think. You know how you think and how you operate. You know the stuff that's going on in there. Come on over here to Romans 12:1. That's the part killed me. You act like you don't sit back and look at, I don't see what I'm doing wrong. Your heart is disgusting. Your mind, your thought process is just downright wicked and despicable. Romans 12:1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, kodesh, acceptable unto God. Now he said the thing that he would accept was a sacrifice that had no blemish and no evil favoredness. So that means if you got a wicked mind and sin on you, that man is not going to accept that. That's something you had to sit back and ponder. The law say he's not taking. Ain't that what it just said? He's not taking that. Now the writer of Hebrews just said, let your conscience be sprinkled. Let your heart be sprinkled with pure water from an evil conscience. The evil conscience would be evil favoredness. If you have an evil mind, that man's not taking that. And you know some of the products of an evil mind? Pride, rebellion, stubbornness, envy, jealousies, maliciousness, hating God. You know what I'm talking about? All these type of things. Lustful, covetous. You got to sit back and look at all these things. You got these type of things in your mind. You think your mind ain't evil? Conniving, scheming, hypocrisy. Y'all don't think that's an evil mind? You think that man gonna accept that? Because you kept a Sabbath. I don't need no pork chops. I don't wear no pants. I don't wear no jewelry. I don't drink. I don't smoke. But you ain't looking at, if your mind like that, you might as well do all them things. You got to look at that. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So you see what he sat back and he told you? You need to change your mind. Your mind needs to change. Your heart needs to change. Your thought process needs to change. The way you view the world needs to change. The way you do stuff needs to change. Yep, Lizzie confers. Come on back to Hebrews chapter 10. Well, Lizzie just said the food's good. That's all. Lizzie just said she liked the food. So Hebrews 10 and 22. Let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having a heart sprinkled from the evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold fast the profession of our hope without wavering. For he that is faithful that promised, and let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. So you know what that means? See, we just sit back and looked in the law, is that the trumpet was blown for when they should be assembled. It was only for set time. When that trumpet was blown, they know to gather together. You know what I'm talking about? So you sit back looking at it. If we come together on Wednesdays and on the new moon and on Sabbath night and on Sabbath day, what's your excuse for not being there unless you incapacitated? You know what I'm talking about? That's whether it be in the flesh or over the line. And I can know for a surety that if I be of God and I be sent to preach the word and he done drew you to be joined to this congregation, that some of y'all supposed to be here in the flesh. I know he just ain't got this set up for you niggas just to sit in your living room. I'm just being honest. If you sit back and think this man doing this here for you to sit in your living room, you sadly mistaken. How you going to assemble yourself in your living room? Come on to number 23 and Leviticus 23 and 1. You can't assemble in your living room. After a while, it's going to have to be a movement. That means when the trumpet get blown, you wouldn't be able to hear. You say, because I'm at the house. I'm just telling you. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, say unto them concerning the feast of Yah, which shall proclaim to be Kodesh convocations. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest of Kodesh convocation. You shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of Yah in all your dwellings. What is a convocation? That's an assembly. So you would know for every Sabbath, the gathering would be called. You know what I'm talking about? He just sat back and said, don't let that be the manner of some forsaking the assembly. So I'm going to show you why. Amos chapter 5. See, this how the manner of some people is. Then, it's Sunday in Jeremiah. Thank the Lord. And matter of fact, thank the Lord in another place. Thank the Lord. We're going to deal with all this stuff with the new moon. Just be patient. Lord going to work it out. Actually, it's Amos chapter 8. About verse 5. Make it 4. Matter of fact, just make it 1. Amos 8 and 1. Thus saith Yah, thus have Yah showed unto me, behold, a basket of summer fruit. And he said, Amos, what see thou? And I said, a basket of summer fruit. Then said Yah unto me, the end is come upon my people of Israel. I will not again pass by them anymore. This man just sat back and said, the end done come. I'm not going to pass by these niggas anymore. So I want you to hold what you got. I want you to look at Revelation chapter 3. Because this for somebody. They're going to help somebody out. This man just sat back and said, you know what? I'm not passing by these niggas no more. Now, why would be the only reason why the Lord say he wouldn't pass by you no more? Because you transgressing. So now I got to come see you. Revelation 3 and 1. And unto the angel of the synagogue in Sardis write, these things saith he that hath the 7 spirits of God and 7 stars. I know thy works, that thou hast a name, that thou live and art dead. Uh-oh. Now what could this mean about you got a name and you live but you dead? What you think that could be talking about? Think about it now. He said you got a name and you live and are dead. Think about what he's saying. Because some of y'all living, but you dead though. Let's sit back and look at somebody who was living but was dead. Come on to Genesis chapter 2 and verse 15. Genesis 2 and 15. Yah took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And Yah commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou may freely eat. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eat thereof thou shalt surely die. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 3 and let's see what happened then. In Genesis chapter 3 verse 5, well, look at verse 3. We'll just start at verse 1 so y'all can hear. Because this man said, you got a name. Adam had a name, didn't it? He said, you live, but you dead, though. See, some of y'all think because you a member of this congregation, you alive, but you still dead, though. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yah had made, and he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, You shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, You shall not surely die. For God doth know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise. And she took the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them were both open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. See, they were alive, but they were dead. Y'all get that? Look at Romans chapter 5. Y'all get that? Had a name. Say the whole family of the earth was named after Adam. He said this is the generations of Adam. And the day when he made him in the image of God, made he him. And he blessed them and called their name Adam. They had a name. They lived, but they were dead. See, nobody wants to sit back and look at that. All we want to know is Israel is blind. Is it lawful to keep the feast? Should we pay tithes or not? What is the true? Should we use the true names? Romans 5 and 12. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed where there is no law. So guess what? He couldn't have imputed no sin unto Adam until he told him, don't you do that. When he told him, don't you eat from that, that was law. God gave a commandment, don't you do that. That was law. That was established. So sin had to be imputed because he gave him a law. He transgressed. He cursed him for doing it. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgression, who is the figure of him that was to come. So to transgress something, and we know 1 John 3 and 4 say sin is transgression of the law. Therefore, he that transgressed the law commits sin, right? So when y'all told this man not to do this, and he sinned, he was alive, but he was dead. And some of y'all hear this word, and I tell y'all to do certain stuff, and you do what you want to do. So guess what that means? You living, but you dead. Because Paul told you in 1 Timothy 5 and 6, she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she lives. A lot of y'all live in your sins, you live in your pleasure, you do what you want, and you dead. You play with it if you want. Just mentioned it to you before we came on and started rolling. You ain't got the spirit, you dead. You don't have life in you. Look at 1 John chapter 1. We still holding Revelation chapter 3. And Amos chapter 8. Why you sit back and see that's the same thing we were talking about. We'll go look at the law and back that up. I just forgot what I said. What I just said. Yeah, John chapter 1. I meant to say 1 John chapter 1. I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. It was 1 John, the epistle letter of John. That's where you at? 1 John 1 and 5. Matter of fact, make it 2. For the life, matter of fact, just make it 1. That which from the beginning which we have heard and we have seen with our eyes, we have looked upon, our hands have handled of the word of life. For the life was manifested, and we have seen it, and bear witness and show unto you that eternal life which was with the Father and was manifested unto us. So that eternal life that was with the Father, that would have been the Son. He said he was given and manifested unto us. We saw it. That which we have seen and heard and declare we unto you, that you also may have fellowship with us. And truly our fellowship is with the Father and with His Son, Yahshua HaMashiach. Now I'm going to ask y'all a question because we just read it maybe last night. Why would this man just sit back and say we hope that our fellowship would be with you? Why would he make that statement? Who knows why John would make this statement? John an apostle, right? He walked with the Lord, right? Why would he make this statement? Exactly, but what did the Lord pray for when he said make them perfect in one? And not only these, but those who will believe on me through their word, right? So now you got John sitting back telling you that ye also may have fellowship with us. Because you can't have fellowship with the Son except by the apostles. Because he the one, he gave them the word. And then they went and made elders and did all these things so the people could get the word. So John is imploring the people, have fellowship with us. Now ask yourself this here. How you going to have fellowship with God and commit sin? We done dealt with this in time past. I think we got a sermon that's recorded talking about it. How you gonna have fellowship with God and commit sin? Didn't he say will you have fellowship with the throne of iniquity? Let me look and see what that is. Is that Psalm 93 I'm thinking about? What that is, man? What y'all got going on? Niggas sound like they got tea brewing. Tell me, son. You gotta ask yourself that. Come over here to Psalms. This I'm trying to remember what that is in Psalms. The man say he won't have no fellowship with the throne of iniquity. He's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it. See, these people sit back tell you anything. Don't you let these people around here tell you always gonna be a sinner. Don't you let these people tell you that. And while you sitting around here playing, wallowing in your sin, you gonna perish in them. Now you keep around here playing with it if you want. You sit around here and keep acting like you ain't got to get right if you want to. It's too critical. It's too serious. So I'm looking at, let me find the song that I want. I'm talking about, man, these people be out here saying all type of stuff, and when it come down to it, these people just actually don't believe this book. Yep, it was 94. I said 93, but it was 94. I'm close enough, mine ain't getting too bad. I want you to look at verse 12 though. Make it 11. Psalm 94 and 11. We still holding Amos chapter 8 and Revelation 3. We good in Romans 5. And he says, y'all know the thoughts of man that they are vanity. Man already know your thoughts worthless. That's why he said you need to make yourself a new heart and a new spirit. You need a new mind. Why he told you to be renewed in your mind. That man know your thoughts are vain. They have no profit. Blessed is the man whom thou chasten, O Yah, and teach him out of our law. That's why Yahshua came back and said, as many as I love, I chasten and rebuke. Be zealous therefore and repent. That's why the writer in Hebrews was telling you to take that chastisement. But a lot of y'all don't like getting whooped. I'm going to tell you too, a lot of people who don't like getting whooped, they also don't like to whoop their turn. And the reason why they ain't like to whoop their turn, because they ain't like getting whooped. That's why you get mad when God whoop you. You don't look at it as a blessing. How many of these people stand up and say, I'm blessed, boy, God chastened me out of his word? How many times y'all ever heard somebody say that? But then you sit back and look at that. Isaiah told you the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and that the Father didn't spare his own son, but chastened him for our salvation. This man was blessed. He was blessed because he was chastened out of the word. And we're going to sit back and be chastened by him, and we don't call it blessed. We complain, why me, Lord? Why me? Well, since you say why you, I guess you won't get in here then. He said that thou may give him rest from the days of adversity until the pit be digged for the wicked. Said he give him rest from the days of adversity. Didn't he give this man rest after he chastened him in the law? He went in the grave, he had rest. Till the time, why he say, sit here on my right hand till I make your enemies your footstool. And we know the last enemy that he shall destroy is death. So he said, you just sit here up here with me in peace till it's time. Till I tell you to blow the trumpet for the gathering of the assembly. He said, for Yah will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. But judgment shall return unto righteousness, and all the upright in heart shall follow it. Say he won't cast off his people, neither for he say, but judgment shall return unto righteousness. John chapter 16, verse 7. Hold this Psalm 94. John chapter 16, verse 7. Ain't that something? He say judgment will return unto righteousness. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you. But if I depart, I will send him unto you. And when he is come, he will reprove the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment, of sin because they believe not on me, of righteousness because I go to my Father and you see me no more, of judgment because the prince of this world is judged. So you just sat back and seen how judgment shall return unto righteousness. Because he had been judged the sinner to take away sin, so the righteousness of the word, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, could come down unto us. See, this is where the people get that from, talking about the Spirit will correct you. This is where they get that from. But sitting back looking at that, does that make any sense? Get your hand off your nipple. No nipples. Come on back over here to Galatians 2, I want to say. I might got something else. What do you want, Stankers? What may I do for you? May I help you? Galatians 2. Matter of fact, make it Romans 10 and 1. That's even better. Romans 10 and 1. You sleepy? You ready to go sleep? Yep, you sleepy. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. Got a great passion for this word, but not according to the word. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness, and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God. For the Messiah is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believes. So when they say the Messiah is the end of the law, what y'all think that means? And when he say he is the end of the law, what y'all think that means specifically? It means a particular thing. You say it all the time. Some of y'all done said it all many times in your life. Yeah, that's the purpose of the law. You know, as people say, an ends to a means, he was the purpose of the law. You know what I'm talking about? So therefore, he would be the righteousness of God. So when he judged him and killed him for our iniquity, then judgment returned unto righteousness, because through this man we could get the righteousness to everyone that believes. And why you think these people won't submit themselves unto this man? These people won't submit themselves to this man. And you know the key thing of submitting themselves to this man is, you would stop sinning. You would stop sinning. Come on back to Psalm 94. Nobody don't want to stop sinning. Verse 16 of Psalms 94. He said, who will rise up against me, for me, against the evildoers? What's wrong with you, Lizzie? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Unless Yah had been my help, my soul almost dwelt in silence. When I said my foot slipped, thy mercy, O Yah, held me up. In the multitude of my thoughts within me, thy comforts delight my soul. And look at the question that he asked. Shall the throne of fellowship, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frame mischief by law? Now what you think this means by a throne of iniquity have fellowship with frame mischief by a law? What y'all think that could mean? Who is the throne of iniquity? Yeah, you can look at it in them terms, but sit back and look at it. But they frame mischief by a law. Yeah, the scribes and the Pharisees, because they were rulers. Let's look and see. In Matthew 23 and 1 first. We still hold in Revelation 3 and Amos 8. Matthew 23:1. Then spake Yahshua to the multitude and to the disciples, saying, the scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. So they will be sitting in the throne, meaning they were rulers, but they were full of iniquity though. So then they framed mischief by law. What did they say, Pilate? By our law he should die, for he said he's the Son of God. Remember, we sit back and look at the 7 abominations that just man fell in? What was one of them? Feet swift to run to mischief. Ain't that what it said? Feet that were swift to run to mischief. He said they framed mischief by law. They tried to use the word. Look at verse 21 of Psalm 94. It's going to back it up. They tried to use the word as a means to kill the man. Say they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. But Yah is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge. He shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, Yah our God shall cut them off. And how did he do that? How did he bring upon them their own iniquity? How did he do that? Y'all should know how he did it. How he did it. No. When they open it, come back to Revelation 3. When they opened their mouth and said, let his blood be on our children's children. He cut them off in their own wickedness. Their own work got them cut off. Then they do it to themselves, and God gonna cut them off. They sat back and said, that man say, man, this man innocent. This innocent blood. He said, I'm clean of this man's blood. They say, let that be on us and our seed. We'll take it. So guess what that means? We know from Deuteronomy 19, with the city of refuge, what happened to the man that got innocent blood on him? What's supposed to happen to him? He's supposed to get killed, cut him off in their own wickedness. Now y'all kick back around there and play around here playing, and you around here sitting in the throne of iniquity, around here using the law, but you around here still around here framing mischief together, and you're gonna be found to be guilty of this man's blood, and he gonna cut you off. That's why he came back and told these people this in Revelation 3:1. And unto the angel of the synagogue in Sardis write, these things saith he that hath the 7 spirits of God and the 7 stars. I know thy works. You think y'all didn't know what Adam did? That thou hast a name, and that thou live and art dead. Go to your mommy. He say, be watchful. Remember how we just was looking at that last night by watching? And strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before God. And we done told some of y'all this before, and the Lord is telling you again, he has not found your works perfect before him. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. We just looked at that last night now. You ain't around here watching, and you ain't hold fast to what you done received and what you heard. That man gonna sneak up on you, get you out of here. It ain't got to necessarily be him severing you from the congregation. It could be killing you dead where you stand. You have to weigh that stuff out. If your works ain't perfect before God and you done heard and received, then you better hold fast to that word and turn from your evil and wicked ways, save your soul. That would be this man chastening you out of his law because he loved you. A lot of y'all don't sit back and look at it. That's why I tell you, man, I done told y'all several times, some of y'all will sit here and hear this word and get up right after it's over with and readily go commit a sin. Some of you think about sinning while you sitting there hearing the word. That's a dangerous thought process. Back to Amos chapter 8. That's why the man said, I ain't going to pass by you no more. I'm for real. I ain't being funny. Ain't even nothing here. I'm talking about that's a dangerous thought process. Did I have any change? All right. Buy something with it. Maybe a protein bar later on. Protein shake more. Can't never have too much protein. Well, the doctors say you can. Who cares what they say? Amos 8:1. Thus saith Yah, thus have Yah showed unto me, and behold, a basket of summer fruit. And he said, Amos, what see thou? And I said, a basket of summer fruit. Then said Yah unto me, the end is come upon my people of Israel. I will not again pass by them anymore. That's why he told you, if you won't hold fast and repent, I'm going to come upon you as a thief in the night. You ain't going to know when I'm coming. That means he ain't going to pass by you no more. I'm going to come see you. And the songs of the temple shall be howlings in that day. So he say all that singing and dancing you were trying to do to me, on that day when I come see you, you going to scream. Huh? He said you going to scream then. There ain't going to be no singing around here tomorrow. Praise the Lord. You ain't going to be making no joyful noise to the Lord on that day. You're going to be hollering. And the songs of the temple shall be howlings in that day, saith Yah. There shall be many dead bodies in every place, and they shall cast them forth with silence. Hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land to fail. Saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn? And the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. See what he said right there? When we looked at a couple, see your judgment off. You ain't got a just weight and a just measure. But see, this is something that these people, is the word and, when you have something and, is that a separating word or is that a compound word in a sentence? When you put the word and in there, is that to make a separation or to make two things together? You sure about that? You like this here, if I say bring my bag of protein and, you know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I'm talking about? See, what these people try to take this and here in this sentence and say the new moon is a Sabbath. But when you sit back and you look at it, there's a separation. They said, when will the new moon be gone? And the Sabbath. So this is two different things they asking when it's going to be gone. You see what I'm talking about? Because we remember when on the new moon, the trumpet was supposed to be blown. And if the trumpet was supposed to be blown, what the people supposed to do? Gather together. So though it wasn't a Sabbath, they treated it as one, meaning we going to come gather together. Now we sitting here telling you, y'all can work on this day, but at the same time, if you know there's a gathering, that means you ought to be there then. So then some people sit back and look at, well, when the new moon going to be over with? So we can go do what we want. When it's going to pass. Because I don't want, because maybe he said don't forsake the assembly of ourselves as others do. You know what I'm talking about? That means you ain't looking forward. You trying to find a reason. Did he say when the Sabbath going to be passed? That we might set forth weeks. So you know what that means? While the word coming, you sitting back thinking about how you can exact all your pleasure. You ready to go sin right there with the word coming. It ain't just got you trying to make your pleasures. Whatever it is you want to go do, you trying to seek to go do it. Look at Jeremiah 22 if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what y'all said about the Sabbath. Make sure this one the one I want. Look and see Jeremiah 22. Let me see if verse 11 what I want. Look and see what this one is. This is what I want. Look at verse 22. Make it 21. I spake unto thee of thy prosperity, but thou said, I will not hear. He said, when you were doing good, he said, you wouldn't listen to me. I want to show you something. You know, let's go over here and look at, well, we just referenced this not too long ago. In 1 Timothy chapter 6, remember he said the love of money, he said godliness with contentment is great gain. You know, David also said something in the book of Psalms. He said, if riches increase, don't set your heart on. You know what I'm talking about? See, that's something that took Israel down a lot of times. We could look at that in Deuteronomy 32 when he say Jeshurun wax fat and kick. See, some of y'all, you sitting back looking at, see, when your wealth increases and you in prosperity and God try to tell you something, see, you don't want to listen then because you full of yourself. Now, he just sat back and told you, when you were in your prosperity, when you were doing good and I tried to talk to you, you wouldn't listen. He said, listen what he said, this has been thy manner from thy youth. Thou hast not obeyed my voice. He said, this has been your manner. And if he say from your youth, what that take us back to? Not only with Adam, but remember, he talking to Israel as a whole. So this coming from the day we came up out of Egypt. You could also say that's for Adam too, because Adam was prosperous too. I gave you everything. And I told you not to do something, and you wouldn't listen. You did what you wanted to do. But now when we sit back and we get a reference, we know with Israel, our manner from youth was, remember, we just read it last night. I gave you all these people jewels. You ain't come out with nothing. I gave you a land. You ain't have to work for the, you didn't have to plant no vineyards. You ain't have to build no houses. Everything was set up for you. I gave you all their wealth. You know what I'm talking about? You sit back, we came up out the wilderness, your shoes didn't wax old, your clothes didn't go bad. And your manner from your youth was to buck me. Yeah, that's why in Proverbs 30 the brother said, give me food convenient for me, lest I be rich and say, who is y'all? Or unless I be poor and I steal and take the name of my God in vain. People don't look at that. Everybody want money from God, but when they get that money, they really ain't think about that, man. They just throw their references out there because they actually referring to their own God, which is their belly. Verse 22. Go ahead. So we look at verse 22. The wind shall eat up all thy pastors, and all thy lovers shall go into captivity. Then thou shalt be ashamed and confounded for all thy wickedness. O inhabitants, thou make thy nest in the cedars. How gracious shalt thou be when pains come upon thee, as the pain of a woman in travail. As I live, saith Yah, though Coniah the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, were the signet upon my right hand, yet would I pluck thee thence. And I will give thee into the hand of them that seek thy life, and into the hand of them whose face thou fear, even into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, and to the hand of Chaldeans, and I will cast thee out, and thy mother that bare thee, into another country where you were not born, and there shall ye die. But to the land whereunto they desire to return, thither they shall not return. Is this man Coniah a despised broken idol? Is he a vessel wherein is no pleasure? Wherefore are they cast out, he and his seed, and are cast into a land which they know not. O earth, earth, hear the word of Yah. Thus saith Yah, write ye this man childless, a man that shall not prosper in his days, for no man of his seed shall prosper, sitting upon the throne of David, ruling any more in Judah. Now, he talking about this man lying. He said earth gonna witness. He said, please see what I'm going to do to him, but see, we want to back you up somewhere. See, I had to mention it to you because, see, Coniah was cursed in the seed that his seed couldn't sit on the throne no more. They were done. You know what I'm talking about? But look what he just said, though. He said, if it wasn't, he said, even though Coniah, in verse 24, a son of Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, were the signet upon my right hand. You know what a signet is? That's a seal. Yet would I pluck thee thence. I will give them into the hand of them that seek thy life, and to the hand of them whose face thou fear. Even to Nebuchadnezzar. What y'all think that's talking about? Even to Nebuchadnezzar. What y'all think that's talking about? What y'all think that could be referring to? When Yahshua the right hand of the Father, what did he do? He plucked him out from thence. He sent him out the tabernacle. He said, come on down and do my will, son. I need you to die for me. Then what else did he tell him? I will give you into the hand of them that seek thy life. Let's look at John 19. We mention it all the time. John 19 and 10. Just sit back and look at it and see what the Lord said to this man. John 19 and 10. That wasn't the spot that I wanted. But it's going to work out well. And it's going to work back to what I want. We still going to touch all these places about the new moon though. Lord permit. I know with some other things we were discussing. If you can remember what I said, if Lord permit, we could touch it. You could mention it. Lord will. We're going to try to work that in there. We'll make it 8. Well, verse 9. And went again into the judgment hall and saith unto Yahshua, whence art thou? But Yahshua gave him no answer. Then we already read about this man's soul was silent within him in Psalm 94. Then saith Pilate unto him, speak thou not unto me? Know thou not that I have power to crucify thee and have power to release thee? Yahshua answered, thou could have no power at all against me except it were given thee from above. Therefore he that delivered me unto thee had the greater sin. Man just sat back and told you, my Father gave me into your hand. We know he was in the hand of them that feared. How do we know that? Because he said, my soul was exceedingly sorrowful unto death, didn't he? I'm going to deliver you into the hand of them that you fear. Come on back and let's look at it, what he said now. See, that's what y'all going to sit back on and y'all going to keep trying the Lord. He going to give you over to that which you fear. You know right now, you know you ain't got this man's spirit. You fear death. And you're going to keep on. He's going to give you right on over there to it. Just keep on being retarded. Ain't going to get you nowhere. Then he just told him in verse 26 that he would cast him out and the mother that bare thee into another country where you were not born, and there you shall die. And you sit back and you look at it. What land was Yahshua born in? And where did he die? That was the land he wasn't born in, and was his mama there too? Was his mama there? Huh? Yes. He was born in Bethlehem. Let's look and see that. Micah 5 and 2. But thou, Bethlehem Ephrathah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be a ruler in Israel, whose going forth have been from old and from everlasting. I still find it amazing nigga can say that David. When was he from old and everlasting? I had no idea. Matthew chapter 1. Niggas say anything out their mouth. Man, niggas say anything out their mouth when they try to justify themselves. Well, Matthew chapter 2 verse 1. Now when Yahshua was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came a wise man from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. And when Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where the Messiah should be born. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, and thou Bethlehem in the land of Judea, are not thee the least among the princes of Judah? For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. When we sit back and look at Coniah, he was the least of all the kings, didn't he? Because he said, would nobody sit on this man's throne ever again? Not of his seed. He was the smallest. So it'll make sense this man come up out the smallest of Bethlehem. You know why? Another reason why he came up out of Bethlehem. Because that's what David was. That's the city of David. You know that? Hold on. We'll come back and look at it. Look at John chapter 7. One more place about Bethlehem. John chapter 7 verse 39. Or 40 actually. That's why he was born in Bethlehem, because that's the city where David was. Matter of fact, it's going to tell you that right here in John when we read it. Many of the people, therefore, when they heard this saying, said of a truth, this is the prophet. Others said, this is the Messiah. But some said, shall the Messiah come out of Galilee? Have not the scripture said that the Messiah come of the seed of David, and out of the town of Bethlehem, where David was? Therefore, there was a division among the people because of him. Just like it's a division among the people because of this man right now. Right now. It's a lot of people, they really don't believe in this man. Come on to 1 Samuel chapter 16. There'd be no way. Because then he wouldn't be able to sit on that throne. But them dudes don't look at stuff like that. Or they'll try to use that to show that he's not the Messiah. Make it 1 Samuel 16 and 1. I can't do too much reaching after all that back work I did today. Let me see. I can do a little bit of reaching right now. A little earlier, I might not have been able to. Listen what he said now. Yah said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thy horn with oil and go, and I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite. For I have provided me a king from among his sons. And Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear, he will kill me. And Yah said, take a heifer with thee, and say, I come to sacrifice to Yah. And call Jesse to the sacrifice. And when I will show thee what thou shalt do, and thou shalt anoint unto me him whom I name unto thee. And Samuel did that which Yah spake, and came to Bethlehem, and the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, come thou peaceably? They were scared to death. They were scared to death. When you sit back and you look at when John the Baptist came, them people were scared to death. One. They did it again. Guess it's the first thing for everything, huh? All three. But sometimes that thing will just kick you off. You know what I'm saying? It kicks some of them off. It kicks some of them off all the time. It's just the first time it ever really kicked me off like it. All right, y'all. Yeah, it kicked me off again, y'all. It's all right. Well, no, I ain't gonna put it on that one there because you know it'll kick some of y'all off. Yeah, I mean, I guess it just had to turn around to be my turn, I guess. So now you sit back and see that the city where David was from is Bethlehem. So this is why Yahshua would have to come out of Bethlehem. You know what I'm talking about? So, hold on. So we sit back and look at that. It may be T-Mobile. I don't even know it's that there because everybody on here ain't got T-Mobile, and I don't know plenty of y'all done told me this thing kicked y'all off. But now you sit back and see that he came out of Bethlehem. He had to. So when he say he gonna cast him out of another country and you know send him to Babylon, he gonna die there. He did not die in the land where he was born. And he's saying your mother that bare thee, she gonna be with you. She's not from Jerusalem either. Let's look at John chapter 19. Let's see if Mom Dukes was there. You don't read nothing about David, Mama. John 19 to 25. See, it just put somebody off just now. He say, now there stood by the cross of Yahshua his mother and his mother's sister Mary the wife of Cleophas, and Mary Magdalene. And when Yahshua therefore saw his mother and his disciple standing by whom he loved, he said unto his mother, Woman, behold thy son. Then saith he to the disciple, Behold thy mother. And from that hour that disciple took her unto his own home. So guess what? We also know from, look at Zechariah 12 for those of y'all that don't know. We gotta sit back and look at why was Yahshua mama there and why her daddy wasn't there. Well, let's look and see in Zechariah 12 and 10. Because we just seen from Jeremiah 22 why his mama would be there. Because he said, I'm going to take you and the woman that bear you, and you're going to die in another place. He said, I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and supplications. And they shall look upon me whom they have pierced. When was David pierced? Is this, well, we're going to ask somebody when was they pierced. So is this Abner? Is this Amasa? Is this the king of Israel in 1 Kings 22? They shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourn for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him, as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. And that day shall there be a great, listen what he say now, and that day there shall be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadrimon in the valley of Megadon. Don't you think there was a great mourning when Coniah was taken up out there, and you died in another place? You don't think the people were mourning? You don't think they were sad about that? And the land shall mourn, listen what he said, every family apart. And the land shall mourn, every family apart. The family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart. The family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart. The family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart. The family of Shimei apart, and their wives apart. All the families that remain, every family apart, and their wives apart. That's why Joseph wasn't there. Now we got two witnesses to see why Mary was there. Y'all ain't never wondered why Mary was there? Back to Jeremiah 22. No, it was written she had to be there. Now you know why Joseph wasn't there. Because it said their families and their wives and the men and the women would be apart. So that's why Joseph wasn't there. Then we know she had to be there because he had to give his mama away. So when we look at 26, I will cast thee out and thy mother that bare thee into another country where you were not born, and there ye shall die. He was not born in Jerusalem. And he died there, didn't he? He say, but to the land whereunto they desire to return, shall they not return. We've been desiring to go back to Israel for a long time. We ain't seen him make it back yet. Is this man Coniah a despised, broken idol? That's how they look at Yahshua. They despise him as a broken idol. I want you to come back to John chapter 15, verse 22. He said, this man say, is he a despised? Don't the people be quick to say, y'all idol worshipers. Y'all idolaters. John 15, 22 though. Let's see what the Lord told you about it. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin. But now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hate me, hate my Father also. If I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now I have both seen and hated both me and my Father. But this come to pass that the word might be fulfilled that is written in their law, they hated me without a cause. I want you to come back and look at 28th verse of 22nd chapter of Jeremiah one more time before we get out of this. We still ain't finished with the verse. This man said, is this man Coniah a despised, broken idol? Is he a vessel wherein is no pleasure? We're going to look at that in a minute. Wherefore are they cast out? He and his seed are cast into a land which they know not. This man just said, is he a despised, broken idol where there is no pleasure? He's cast out, him and his children, into a land which don't nobody know. Now I want y'all to sit back and look at it and be ready for what I'm finna show you now. Now let's look at the book of Hosea to see how he a vessel with no pleasure. one I want. Y'all right over there, Lamont? Let me find the verses of this that I want. I think it's chapter 8. There it is. 8 and 7. Make it 6. We dealt with this in time past. Make it 4. I want, as a matter of fact, we'll look at 1. I want to see if anybody remember. Because we have dealt with this particular chapter. It wasn't that long ago. Set the trumpet to thy mouth. He shall come as an eagle against the house of Yah, because they have transgressed my covenant, and trespassed against my law. Israel shall cry unto me, my God, we know thee. Israel have cast off the thing that is good. The enemy shall pursue him. Who remember what this means? The video is exactly named exactly that. Who remember what this means? Exactly. This is what he say. They have set up kings, but not by me. They have made princes, and I knew it not. Of their silver and their gold have they made them idols, that they may be cut off. That calf, O Samaria, have cast thee off. My anger is kindled against thee. How long will it be ere they attain to innocency? You see what he said? He said, how long you gonna sit back and say I ain't did nothing? That was some of you niggas be screaming. I ain't did nothing. Why the Lord be angry with me? I ain't did nothing like you innocent. Nigga, you know you ain't innocent. Titus chapter 1. Hosea chapter, hold the Hosea 8. Titus chapter 1. I want to scream like you ain't did nothing. That's just like what Adam did, hiding. I ain't did nothing. Trying to cover up your transgression. That's what he did with them fig leaves, trying to cover up your transgression. I ain't did nothing. I was naked. Who told you you were naked? I ain't did nothing. That's why I got the fig leaf. Titus 1 and 14. Not giving heed to Jewish fables. Not giving heed to Jewish fables. And commandments of men that turn from the truth. Unto the pure all things are pure. But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving nothing is pure. But even their mind and conscience is defiled. They profess that they know God, but in works they deny him, being an abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. And that's what Israel sat back and did. They set up a king, and he said in his anger, he would kindle against them. They said, we ain't did nothing wrong. They sat back and killed the Lord. They said, we ain't did nothing wrong. Come on back to Hosea chapter 8. That's how some of y'all be with the stuff you be doing. I ain't did nothing wrong. But you know you done did something wrong. You know you did something wrong. You know every single day you commit sin every chance you get. And this man crack you right up close your head. And you be like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Steady trying to scream you innocent. See, I'm going to tell you something right there. So you know when he go to cracking you upside your head and you go to try to scream you innocent, you know what that actually is. See, that's when you go in and you trying to play the victim. You know what I'm talking about? I couldn't have did nothing. I ain't did nothing wrong. It's all this over here. Put it on somebody else. You'll never sit back and look at, I did that. I contributed to that. That's a dangerous mind. When you say how long, you say how long will you err? How long will it be ere they attain to innocency? How long is you going to sit back and look at you ain't did nothing wrong, you going to play the victim? Huh? How long you going to play the victim? Didn't you though? I ain't did nothing. Jacob tricked me out my birthright. He deceived me. Ain't nobody deceived you, nigga. You gave it up for a bowl of beans. You were ready to give it up for them beans. You say, what good is this birthright gonna do to me? I'm finna die. I don't want it. Let me get them beans. Then when you ain't get it, you try to act like he was innocent, didn't he? Hebrews chapter 12, verse 15. And 15. Still holding Hosea 8. We ain't holding nothing else. Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you. Tell you, it's a dangerous thing to be bitter. You know, a bitter woman is bad. A bitter man is worse. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people expect a woman to be bitter. You know what I'm talking about? Because women usually get done wrong more than men get done wrong. It's not good to see a bitter woman, period. But when you see a bitter man, because people usually take bitterness as a female attribute, when it really isn't. You know what I'm saying? It just happens because you just happen to run across more bitter women than you do men. You know, bitterness is really not exclusive to any gender. You know what I'm talking about? When you look at a man who bitter, most men are bitter in this country because of how we've been treated. You know what I'm talking about? But then you got some niggas who bitter because they mad because everybody was successful and they wasn't. For whatever reason. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga just be bitter. I don't care man or woman. It's just horrible to see a bitter nigga, period. No, it's not attractive. Because you know when somebody bitter, you know what go along with being bitter? Nigga usually jealous. You know what I'm talking about? They usually envious. You know what I'm talking about? They usually selfish. You know what I'm talking about? They usually got 1,000,001 excuses for why they couldn't do what they were supposed to do. They usually irresponsible. You know what I'm talking about? These are not attractive qualities in a man or a woman. I'm talking about, and I ain't even talking about for being with somebody, just for being a friend. Nobody don't want to be around nobody like that. And you got to sit back and look at, if you possess those type of attributes in your heart, if bitterness reign in you, man, that stuff can take your soul down. Y'all hear me? That stuff take your soul down. That's why he just sat back and said, huh? Yeah, it'll do that. It'll kick you off now. But listen to that's what he said now. He say, lest any man he say, look diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, thereby many be defiled. Because see, you'll mess around, bring that sin up, and and other people get caught up in it. So you have to sit back and look at that. You don't want to get caught up in that transgression. Mm-hmm. It's rough now. It's real rough. Listen, he say, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know that afterwards, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Say, ain't no place in here for you, nigga. And guess what? I done told y'all before. Guess what? We seen all the people crying in the wilderness about them quails, right? When he told them he was going to kill them, that ain't stopped God from killing none of them, though, did it? So I guess I'll let you know. While you go back to Hosea chapter 8, while you around here trying to proclaim that you innocent, and you go ahead and all that boo-hoo tears and crying like somebody going to be moved. The Lord ain't moved with it. I'm going to go ahead and cut your whole head off. That's why I tell y'all, you can come in my face with all them tears. That stuff don't move me. You can come with all the soft story you want to come with. That's not going to move me. I guarantee you. That's not going to pull on my heartstrings. That's not going to touch my heart because you crying. I can frankly care less. I used to date a woman used to do that all the time. Try to cut them crocodile tears on and stick her lip out. And I just used to sit and look at her and be like, come on, Mom. If I just told you no, I'm still not going to do it. You doing none of this stuff ain't going to move me. That stuff move on the weak. Well, while you sitting there crying and doing all this here, you know what I used to do? Reach in my pocket, pull out my bag, reach over there, grab my Dutch, and roll them up and smoke right there while she's sitting in there having an emotional tantrum. After a while, you know what she did? She stopped. She realized this ain't gonna work. Just like little kids. They throw tantrums. They realize if you sit back and you stand firm, it ain't gonna work. They'll stop. You know, she grown woman. I can't put my hands on her. I put my hands on the child for doing it. Or I come up with some inventive ways to let them know that behavior is not acceptable. I don't have no problem telling people no. Some of y'all get moved when people go to crying and getting all emotional when you've been untold them something. And you end up acquiescing and doing what they wanted you to do. I don't care. I know I done told y'all this in time past, but I'm going to tell you again. You can save the tears and the crying for somebody else. I really don't care. I know when somebody crying out of sincere crying because they hurt with a situation. I also know when a nigga crying trying to play on my emotions like I'm going to go for that. I ain't lived this long by being stupid. Hosea 8 and 5. Well, we're in verse 6. From Israel was it also, the workman made it, therefore it is not of God, but the calf of Samaria shall be broken in pieces. For they have sown the wind, they shall reap the whirlwind. It have no stalk, but shall yield no meal. If so be it yield, the stranger shall swallow it up. Israel is swallowed up. Now they shall be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure. Now we done heard the same thing about Coniah, that he would be among the Gentiles as a vessel with no pleasure too, didn't we? Ain't that what we just seen? He said, is Coniah despised broken idol? Is he a vessel wherein is no pleasure? And they cast out him and his seed? Well, let's look over here something, y'all. Let's look over here with something over here. Let's go around here. Let me see what we want. I guess we can swing on around here to let me see what we got over here in Colossians chapter 3. Or Colossians chapter 2. Let me see if it is what I want. Matter of fact, it's Peter where we're going to go ahead and look at it at. It's more better in 1 Peter. In chapter 1 Peter 4 and verse 1. Obviously, if I was in 1 Peter and not 1 John, we might be able to do something. For as much then as the Messiah hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin, that he should no longer live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of God. He around there moving around. No. You just got digestion problems. He's always on my back. Oh, he's all the way on your back? Oh, he get back there pressing on little muffin bite. He want around there hiding somewhere. So, you know, the Messiah suffered in the flesh. You think he caught any pleasure from all that stuff he went through? Because he was a vessel of salvation for the Gentile, amongst the Gentile. He ain't get no pleasure. That's what a vessel is, right? Something that carries something, right? Come on now, let's look at something else. Let's look at something else about this man suffering. Lord will, it's all gonna make sense. By the time we get this week over with, we got 2 more times to go through this book. 2 more times, Lord spare our life. We got 2 more times. Come over here to 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 1. Now keep in mind that Paul is speaking to a preacher. Just keep that in mind. But still also keeping in mind what he's about to say. Therefore, my son, be strong in grace that is in the Messiah Yahshua. The things that thou heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. So you know you're talking to a teacher. Therefore, listen what he say. Endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahshua HaMashiach. No man that war entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him whom have chosen him to be a soldier. See, we know that the Father had chose Yahshua to be a soldier, to be a vessel. A vessel of weakness to actually be a vessel of strength. To take on the sufferings that we might be healed through his stripes. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Because the book say when he was threatened, he suffered it. And when he was reviled not back. He took no place. Remember now, who can remember some of the things they did to this man? I want you to sit back. He got bust in the head with a reed. What else happened to him? He got stabbed in the side. And what else happened to him? He got spit on. And what else happened to him? He was mocked. And what else happened to him? That they plucked his face, they plucked his beard out, they plucked the hair out of his head. And what else happened to him? They hung him on a tree. And what else happened to him? They slapped fire from the man. They lied on the man. Called him a deceiver and a blasphemer. So that sounds like to me that's a vessel who was no pleasure. And him and his seed were cast out. Say that again. They did what? Yeah, they tried it. Shed innocent blood. That sounds like to me he was a vessel amongst the Gentiles. He had no pleasure, did he? They cast him out and his seed. Look at John chapter 16 and 1. Let's just see what they did. And then we can look at Acts chapter 5. He said they'll cast you and your seed up out of here. John 16 and 1. This man took a lot of stuff on. That sounds like anything pleasurable. Oh yeah, we forgot one thing. They whooped him. They scourged him. That sounds like anything pleasurable to y'all. So guess what that is? And he took all them things out, because all that stuff written in the law. Blessed is him whom thou chasten out of thy law. The chastisement of our peace was laid upon him. That's why he had to be a vessel where therein is no pleasure. And he said, amongst the Gentiles, both times it said, is he a broken idol, a vessel where therein is no pleasure. These things have I spoken unto you, that you should not be offended. They shall put you out of the synagogues, yea, the time come, that whosoever kill you will think that he do God service. And these things will they do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me. And didn't he do all these things under Coniah because they hadn't known y'all? Because they hadn't followed and they hadn't obeyed? So he got cast out into a land where there wasn't his, him and his mama. He was a vessel where there was no pleasure. And him and his seed were cast out. Because Yahshua told you, if they persecuted me, they're going to persecute you. You got to go through the same thing. Ain't that amazing that, see, all that wickedness of Coniah being cursed, that was Coniah stuff. All this stuff going on. It's rough out here. Come on back to Jeremiah 17. It's real out here on these streets. Jeremiah 17 and 19. Who that is? That two people got kicked off. They're kicking y'all. They kicked y'all. John 17 and 19. Thus saith Yah to me, go stand in the gate of the children of thy people, whereby the kings of the king of Judah come in, and by the way which they go out, and all the gates of Jerusalem. So what gate that is the king of Judah will come in at? What gate that is? Which gate would it be? Yeah, it'd be the north gate. And they said unto them, hear ye the word of Yah, ye kings of Judah, and all inhabitants of Jerusalem, enter in by these gates. Thus saith Yah, take heed to yourselves, bear no burden on the Sabbath day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem. Neither carry forth a burden out of your houses on the Sabbath day, neither do ye any work, but hallow the Sabbath day, as I commanded your fathers. But they obeyed not, neither inclined their ear, but made their neck stiff, that they might not hear, nor receive instruction. And it shall come to pass, if you will diligently hearken unto me, saith Yah, to bring in no burden through the gates of this city on the Sabbath day, but hallow the Sabbath day, to do no work therein. Then shall there enter in the gates of this city kings and princes sitting upon the throne of David, riding in on chariots and on horses, and their princes, and the men of Judah, and inhabitants of Jerusalem, and this city shall remain forever. And they shall come from the cities of Judah, and from the places about Jerusalem, and from the land of Benjamin, and from the plain, and from the mountains, and from the south, bringing burnt offerings and sacrifices, and meat offerings and incense, bringing sacrifices of praise unto the house of Yah. But if you will not hearken unto me to hallow the Sabbath day, and not to bear a burden, even entering in at the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day, then will I kindle a fire in the gates thereof, it shall devour the palaces of Jerusalem, and it shall not be quenched. We're going to look at two things. Ain't that rough that all he told these niggas to do was keep the Sabbath and they couldn't even do that? Ain't that rough? He told them, all you got to do is keep the Sabbath, and these niggas couldn't do that. And that's how you sit back and look at, he telling you don't bring no burden. I mean, you got no business talking about let's sit around and play no Uno. I want to internet surf. I want to go play basketball. I want to go lift weights. I want to watch TV. I want to go to the movies. I want to play video games. You got Hebrews do all that stuff on the Sabbath. Go to work. We in captivity, brother. You know what I'm saying? Oh, here go the favorite one. A man that don't take care of his own household is an infidel. So I guess I got to sin then. But I want you to look at something he said. He said, take heed to yourselves and don't bring no burden on the Sabbath. He say, set apart that Sabbath. Obey, he say, and it'll come to pass if you do this, you'll dwell in this city forever with kings and with princes. If you would just do it. Let's see what the Lord said in Matthew chapter 11. Because some of y'all still bringing burdens in on the Sabbath. We done talked about this before. We're going to be telling you again. It's all going back to you not resting. You still doing what you want to do. And you screaming you innocent. He said you live, nigga. But you dead. Verse 28 of Matthew chapter 11. And come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me. For I'm meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. 1 John chapter 5, verse 1. So when he say hollow, that's to sanctify something. Maybe we'll look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 or chapter 4 too. So that means you need to sanctify Yahshua in your heart, in your home, in your gate. Whosoever believe that Yahshua is the Messiah is born of God, and everyone that love him that begat love him also that is begotten of him. By this we know that we love the children of God when we love God and keep his commandments. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. His commandments are not grievous. This is not a heavy burden. The reason why it's a heavy burden, see, some of y'all look at, well, I'm doing this over here and doing this over there, but you still ain't got rid of all this other stuff you carrying. Mark chapter 7 and verse 20, so we can look at some of this stuff you're carrying. That's why you sit back and look at Hebrews chapter 12, he say, man, let us put aside the weight and the sin that do easily beset us. This stuff holding you back. You carrying too much weight. You got too many bags in your hand. And you don't want to set none of them down. But steady want to scream you innocent. Mark 7 and 20. And he said, that which come out of the man, that defile the man. From within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man. You don't think that's a big deal to be carrying all that stuff in your heart like that? Carrying all that stuff in your heart. All that stuff in your heart. How you gonna make it? How you gonna make it? That means you bringing burdens in on the Sabbath day. The man said, come unto me and I'll give you rest. He said, come unto me and I'll give you a Sabbath. He says, if you heavy laden and you labor, we'd already read in the law, 6 days a man shall labor, but the Sabbath is the Sabbath for rest. The Sabbath for rest is here. Why are you still laboring? The only thing you should be laboring for is to labor for your salvation, which is to keep God's word, not still doing your own thing. See, I'm going to show you why. Come on back to Isaiah 58. 58. That's why you sit back and look at it. Those people steady thought they was alive and they were dead. That's why Yahshua said, Isaiah 58 and 1. That's why Yahshua said, hold on, I'm cutting my mind, man. I just got distracted. Why he told you to put all this stuff down. But see, don't nobody want to put all this stuff down. Don't nobody want to die. Don't nobody want to give nothing up. You still want to keep... The man told you must be born again. You got to be. Cry aloud. Spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgression in the house of Jacob their sin. When we look at what Yahshua was telling them in that synagogue in Sardis, he was doing the same thing. He was letting them know, you people got sin on you. Your works are not perfect before God. I know your works. That's the thing y'all don't sit back and realize. You feel like, well, Dwayne don't see what I'm doing. He don't know what I'm doing. But the Lord do though. You worry about me seeing you. Nigga, he see you everywhere you go. He know every thought in your heart. And you just sitting around here, thinking you getting over. You sitting around here thinking you getting over. And then when the man crack you upside your dome, you like this here, I'm innocent. He say, how long you gonna do that? He asked a real good question. How long will it be that you attain that you innocent? I ain't did nothing wrong. Oh, nigga, you know. I'm telling you, like I said, some of you niggas can spit out a lie like a nigga spit out grape seeds. Just spit them out. Rapid fire. I'm talking about automatic. No semi-auto, full clip. Spit it right out. 60 rounds in less than 10 seconds. I'm talking about just multiple lies. Ain't got no problem living a lie. We talked about this last night. You don't want to get caught up in appearances. Because some of you can appear to be righteous under men, but God know your heart. And he going to pull that sheet back in front of everybody and expose your nakedness. And then everybody going to see you for who you really are. Yet they seek me daily, and delight to know my ways as a nation that did righteousness, and forsook not the ordinance of their God. They ask of me the ordinances of justice. They take delight in approaching to God. Wherefore have we fasted, say they, thou see not. If you look at fasting, why we done suffered in our flesh, but you don't see. You look like, I don't work on the Sabbath, I don't eat no pork chop. Why you don't see it? I stopped wearing jewelry. Why you don't see it? I don't wear Nikes no more. Why you don't see it? I don't drink. I don't smoke weed no more. Why you don't see it? Let's see what he say. Wherefore have we fasted, say they, and thou see not. Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and thou take no knowledge. He say, behold, the day of your fast you find pleasure and exact all your labor. So when you were actually suffering for the word, so you say, you will actually find a way to do all the stuff you want to do. Y'all hear me? Y'all was still trying to find a way to do what you want. And looking at God like, you don't take knowledge of what I'm doing? He said, I did take knowledge, nigga. Your works are not perfect before me. Hold fast what you have received and watch, lest I come as you as a thief in the night and kill you, nigga. Behold, you fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. You shall not fast as you do this day to make your voice to be heard on high. That's why we sat back and look at, you profess that you know God, but in works you deny him. See, they sitting back looking at, we coming unto you to hear the word. We suffering in the flesh. We not doing this, we not doing that, but your heart still ain't right. It's still not right. You still find a way to exact your labors. You just pick and choose. Nevertheless, let's look at more of this stuff about the new moon. We got one more place to look. We got a few places to look. Psalms 81. So y'all can see. Because these niggas will tell you, you can't read nowhere in this book what God said when the new moon come in, number 7 days after that, and that's when the Sabbath is. He never told you that. You're not going to find that. You can't read that. And you can look all you want. And when you find it, you let me know. I'll give you some money. Psalm 81 and 1. Sing aloud unto God our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the God of Jacob. Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. For this was a statute for Israel and the law of the God of Jacob. What feast day is they talking about right here? Memorial blowing the trumpet. That's the first day of the 7th month. And also we seen in the law that you got to blow the trumpet on a new moon anyway, right? So where you get keeping the Sabbath out of that? Where they get keeping the Sabbath out of that? See, it was a law. Go ahead. So we don't. Oh, they can keep the book of Enoch. They keep the book of. Yeah, we don't. No, I know. That's Brother Tony. You all right, Brother Tony? Because that's probably where they get it from. They can take that book of Enoch and flush it down the toilet. Because the book of Enoch say them angels taught women how to make makeup and men to make war tools. We can't read that nowhere in the Word. I appreciate you, Brother Tony. I know what you're talking about. He just would let it be known he was correct. Because I do that. I didn't want to see where y'all, if any of y'all knew it. Because that's where they get it from. And if they don't get it from Enoch, they get it from the book of Jubilees or the book of Jasher. I appreciate you, Brother Thomas. It ain't even that. It's not. Huh? What we have to do, this is how you authenticate another book. Nobody likes to do this. Nobody likes to tell people that it's not that difficult. You go through the book. Let's say the book of Enoch, for example. Whatever's in the book of Enoch should line up with what's in the scripture. Shouldn't be no contradiction. Once you find one contradiction, you need to be worried. Once you find two, you need to be troubled. Once you find three, it's time to put the whole thing down. And guess what? It's all manner of contradictions in that book of Enoch. The first contradiction is them niggas like to run to that epistle of Jude. Huh? Yeah, but we already looked at what the giant wore. It wasn't nothing but a 7 to 9 foot tall man. How many feet? Now somebody got to be utterly insane to sit there and believe that a man would stand at 450 feet tall. $200 men that stood at 450 feet tall. Do y'all really realize how tall that is? Man, can't nobody hold no conversation with this nigga. They can't hear him. You gonna be like this here, you hear me? Maybe. We say barely. I'm gonna tell y'all something. We'll just leave that alone. Hey, guess what, Chelsea? You ain't the only person who thought it was right because you didn't know no better. Because the first thing when you come into this thing, this how the Hebrew nigga get you. See, they ain't gave us all our books. They ain't gave us all our books. So you going into this mentally thinking that these books are authentic. See, they love the screen. See, that's the book of Enoch that Jude mentioned. All Jude said is the Enoch, the 7 from Adam, prophesied. Prophesying ain't got nothing to do with writing no book. There's plenty of men in here who prophesied, they ain't got no book. He didn't say Enoch wrote a book. He said he prophesied. There's a major difference. But when you a nigga, and you want something to be what you want to be, You're going to roll with that. I ain't never read the book of Enoch. Had a desire at one time to read it. We watched a couple videos about it. I said, I'm good. Man, you can look at, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell y'all something. It's the same thing with the Apocrypha. I had one. It's stuff in that Apocrypha that contradict the scriptures. It's stuff in there. The book of Ezra talk about a landmass called Asareth. We can't read that nowhere in this book. Got to. Among other things, you got Daniel messing with dragons. You got Judas Maccabees bucking captivity. Can't read. There's not no other witness that back that up. I'm sitting back looking at it. Says something in the law, in the scriptures about the prayer of Manasseh, but we don't know if that's the prayer of Manasseh that's in that book. It's a lot of other contradictions in there that I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's a lot of them though. There's some things in there line up in the book of Ecclesiastes because they talk about people going to hell, burning in fire and worms. So do. Ain't nothing contradicting here. So let's look at verse 5 in Psalms 81 and let's really get some understanding. Listen what he says. This he ordained in Joseph for a testimony, when he went out through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not. You heard what he said? Did they blow trumpets before Joseph? Let's just see if they did. Let's look at Genesis 41. Let's see if they blew any trumpet before Joseph. Because he said this was a testimony of Joseph. We'll look at 32. It says, and for the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God. God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the fifth part of the land of Egypt in 7 plenteous years. Let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. That food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. The thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such as one as this, a man whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Forasmuch as God hath showed thee all this, that there is none so discreet and wise as thou art, thou shalt be over my house, according to thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in throne will I be greater than thou. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had, and they cried before him. They blew out the trumpet. Bow the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. Just like Yahshua got on that donkey, and they cried before him, didn't they? Blew the trumpet. Come on back to Psalm 81. So he said he ordained that in the testimony when he went through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not. Look what verse 6 say. I removed his shoulder from the burden. His hands were delivered from the pots. Thou called in trouble, and I delivered thee. I answered thee in the secret place of thunder. I proved thee at the waters of Meribah, Salah. So how did he remove his shoulder from the burden? Y'all should remember this. How did he remove his shoulder from the burden? He tied 2 burdens. When this man rose from the dead, he took the burden from off. Remember, he bared the cross on his shoulder. You look at Joseph, he bared the burden of all Egypt that the people might be fed, that they might be saved. He had that burden on his shoulder, right? He just set him over the whole land. He the one that had to give everybody the food. Well, basically, everybody had to come get corn from Joseph. Everybody got to come get the word from Yahshua. We done dealt with that in time past, haven't we? So that burden was on Joseph's shoulder. He said, I took it off of him. You got to sit back and look at it, how that burden was on his shoulder. Then Joseph go to jail, and he didn't do nothing wrong. And he took that burden off his shoulder, and he set him up over the whole land. And when they did that, they blew a trumpet before him. So how they get to keeping the Sabbath out the new moon on this? But hold on, we got another play. Isaiah chapter 66. What? Yeah, I've heard it several times. That's why I mentioned it. They'll run to that verse right there and see the Sabbath supposed to be kept right here. He ain't say nothing about no Sabbath in there. Why Leviticus 23, when he declared when his Sabbath was and they were feasts, why didn't he make mention of the new moon once? Not one time. All right, man. Isaiah 66 and make it verse 22. For as the new heavens and the new earth which I will make shall remain before me, saith Yah, so shall your seed and your name remain. It shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yah. Now what y'all think that mean when you hear that? From one new moon to another and one Sabbath to another. What did this man just tell you? What did he just tell you? From not only that he told you two different things, but what did he just tell you? What does the word moon mean? So from month to month, and what is the Sabbath? Every week, what? Right? So from month to month and week to week, you gonna come up here and holler at me. How you get the Sabbath supposed to be out the new moon after that when all he just told you is from month to month and week to week, you'll come up and worship? That's all he told you. That's all he told you. Look at it again. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, so from one month to the next month. Right now is the first month of the month of Adar, the last month of the year. So guess what that means? When Adar in and Nisan or Abib come in, then we'll have to come up again for another new moon because it'll be a new month now, wouldn't it? Then he say from Sabbath, that's Isaiah 66 and 23. So then we sit back and we look at what else? Sabbath to Sabbath. Lord permit we live to see tomorrow night. The Sabbath gonna be in effect. Of course, our brother Tony, it'll be when we the Sabbath come in for us, the night portion of it would have already ended for him. See, I was talking with the brother Trav about this earlier, because you got a lot of brothers, they be like, they don't acknowledge the moon till they see it in Jerusalem. As if the moon they looking at in Jerusalem is different from the moon you looking at over here, you dummy. It's just daytime over there and it's nighttime over here, you idiot. When the new moon come out over there, they see the moon in Jerusalem, it's nighttime over there. So when it's nighttime over there, it's daytime over here. So that same moon that they saw and when it was nighttime there, when it's nighttime here, then it's daytime there. So the same moon they saw is the same moon we gonna see. These niggas make it see. I just seen a dude say, which new moon you go by? The one they see in Jerusalem? It's the same moon, nigga. Brother Tony, I'm gonna ask you a question if you can hear me. Don't the moon look the same to you every time you see it? Wouldn't you wager the moon the same over here in the Western Hemisphere as it is over there in the Eastern Hemisphere where you reside? I know that's what I'm talking. And I would believe so too. I would believe so too, but you got dudes that actually think the moon in Jerusalem is going to be different from the moon we see. Lord have mercy. Ezekiel 46. I say I gotta keep control of y'all in the sanctuary. We're gonna have to start jumping. Y'all gonna be around here clowning. I'm gonna have to get we gonna get somebody. They over here going hard, little mo. We're gonna have to have the ushers give them the little the monkey in the closet from Family Guy point. I'm just messing with y'all. Y'all alright. I'm just messing with y'all. I'm just messing with y'all. Y'all alright. Ezekiel 46 and 1. I'm just messing with y'all. Now listen to what he say again, because I want y'all to hear me now. Listen to what they say again, because this is another place that they go to now. The new moon is not mentioned in many places. Listen what he say. Thus saith Yah, the gate of the inner court that look towards the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be opened, and in the day of the new moon it shall be opened. So this is 2 separate occurrences, and these niggas try to make them compound and say, see, the new moon is a Sabbath. He just said the gate would be open. That's Ezekiel 46 and 1. He just said that on the Sabbath the gate would be open. And don't you notice he mentioned the Sabbath first? You know why he would mention the Sabbath first? Because that's a more regular occurrence. A new moon comes in every 29 to 31 days, depending on the month. Some months have 29 days, some months have 30, some months have 31. You know what I'm talking about? Sabbath is every week. Go ahead, Golden. Yeah, they ain't even drop out of there. Now let's sit back and listen to what he say again. Let's listen now. And the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of the gate without, and shall stand by the post of the gate. And the priest shall prepare his burnt offerings and his peace offerings. He shall worship at the threshold of the gate. He shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until the evening. So who is the prince? And who are the priests? Not just the disciples, all those who are joined with him. Always remember, because he said by his blood he made you kings and priests, by Revelation 1 and Revelation 5. Always remember Isaiah 61 told you that you would be called the priests and the ministers of your God. Remember we read last night in Revelation 20, those that come up on the first resurrection will be priests. Remember John 17, he prayed not only for his apostles to be made perfect in one, but everyone who would believe on him through their word. So that brought in all of us. He said, praise the Lord indeed. Likewise, the people of the land, listen what he said. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before Yah in the Sabbaths and in the new moons. So is this 2 separate things or one thing? We already read in the law when the trumpet is blown, that's when the people are supposed to gather. You know the trumpet is supposed to be blown in the new moon. And the burnt offerings that the prince shall offer unto Yah in the Sabbath day shall be 6 lambs without blemish and a ram without blemish. And the meat offering shall be an ephah for a ram, and the meat offering for the lamb shall be as he be able to give, and a hin of oil to an ephah. Listen what he said. And in the day of the new moon, because guess what? What came first, the new moon or the Sabbath? Let's look and see. Hold what you got. Genesis chapter 2, verse 1. Let's just see what came first, the new moon or the Sabbath. New moon ain't come first. New moon ain't come first. He said he made the moon 2 greater lights to rule the day, and the third day, he didn't say nothing about no new moon, though. He hadn't given no calendar of when month started. He hadn't did that yet. He hadn't gave that to nobody. Genesis chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all the work which God created and made. Now new moon means a new month or new beginnings, right? Before we were made new, that man had to die first. He was sitting there showing you rest come first. Now we know from Genesis chapter 1, we can look right at it here in verse 16. He said God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. God set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth and to rule over the day and rule over the night, to divide the light from darkness, and God saw that it was good. So when he sat back and said in verse 14 that there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years, and to let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven, he didn't make no mention of no sun or no moon. He just said he set lights up there. And that's what he said. Does it say, do you read the word moon anywhere now? Let's make sure now, because we don't want to be none spoke out of turn. Did he say anything about the moon? He just said, I set lights up there. A greater light and a lesser light. So now let's look at Exodus 12 and 1. This is the first time a new moon is ever mentioned. Exodus 12 and 1 is when the first time it's ever mentioned. And Yah spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. This is the first time when they actually know when their months began. That's the first time. When we read Numbers 10, he told them about the new moon, that you blow that trumpet in the new moon. Because they had already been told this when your months begin. See, before you can get rest, a new moon is a new month, or a newness of life, as we're going to see. Let's look at Romans 6. Before we even look at Romans 6, let's come back to Ezekiel 46. We finna get ready to get out of here. So we look at Ezekiel 46. Because you notice he mentioning the Sabbath before the new moon. In Isaiah, it makes sense that he say from month to month and week to week. You know what I'm talking about? But now when he talking about these offerings, he keep mentioning the Sabbath first. Then the new moon. Verse 6 of Ezekiel 46. And in the day of the new moon it shall be a young bullock without blemish, and 6 lambs and a ram, they shall be without blemish. He shall prepare a meat offering and an ephah for a bullock, and an ephah for a ram, and for the lambs according as his hand shall attain unto, and a hin of oil to an ephah. And when the prince shall enter, he shall go in by the way of the porch of that gate, and he shall go forth by the way thereof. And the people of the land shall come before Yah in the solemn feast. He that enter in by the way of the north gate to worship shall go out by the way of the south gate. And he that enter in by the way of the south gate shall go forth by the way of the north gate. He shall not return by the way of the gate whereby he came, but he shall go forth over against it. And the prince in the midst of them, when they shall go in, when they go in, shall go in, and when they go forth, shall go forth. Why is that important about the prince in the midst? When he go in, they go in, and when they go out, he go out. Read it, listen to it again. And the prince in the midst of them, when they go in, shall go in, and when they go forth, shall go forth. Because that's what he said, I'll lead you in and bring you out, right? We already know from Zephaniah that just Yah is in the midst. It would make sense that Yahshua will be right in the midst. Let's look at John chapter 10. Verse 1. And then we'll look at Numbers 27. Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that enter not by the door into the sheepfold, but climb up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that enter in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. You just heard him coming in by the door. Also, you need to remember that there. You see what the thing just said. If you come in the north, you got to go out the south. You can't be going in whatever gate you want to go in. You got to go in. You got to go in the gate of what tribe you in, and you got to go out the opposite side. He say to him, the portal open, and the sheep hear his voice, and he call his own sheep by name, and he lead them out. And when he put forth his own sheep, he go before them. And the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. This parable spake Yahshua unto them, but they understood not what the things they were which he spake unto them. Then said Yahshua unto them, Truly, truly, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall go in and be. He shall may enter in. He shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. That pasture will be they dwelling in the land, and they going in and out, and they have rest. That's what we seeking. Number 27:16. That's what we seeking, to have rest. The only way we gonna get it. Only way we gonna get it if we stop screaming we innocent and we know we doing wrong. Only way we gonna get it is to stop doing your own thing. Become new. He said his mercies are new every day. We in a new month. Time for a new living way. It's time for a new heart. Oh, I'm sorry. I ain't even know this woman text me, man. That's what it's time for. Number 27:16 or 15. And Moses spake unto Yah, saying, Let Yah, the God of spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation, which may go out before them, and which may go in before them, which may lead them out, and which may bring them in, that the congregation of Yah be not as sheep which have no shepherd. Moses prayed for that. Moses prayed for that. He said, get somebody to bring them in and lead them out. Thank the Lord for Yahshua, because he gave us that. See, that was Joshua's son of Nun. Joshua's son of Nun ain't lead us in and he ain't bring us out. Niggas say anything when you stupid. Nigga will say anything when they stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, you know what a nigga is? A nigga is an ignorant, low down, dirty individual. Got excuses, do any and everything that they want to do. 1 Samuel chapter 20. We done looked at this in time past, but we're going to look at it again. And then we're going to get on out of here. Thank the Lord. Y'all all right? Everybody cool? Well, praise the Lord. So let's see what he says. And David fled from Nahath and Ramah and came and said before Jonathan, What have I done? And what is my iniquity? What is my sin before thy father that he seek my life? When you sit back and look at it, I think Yahshua said, they say, but that's what they want to know. What did he do? What is his sin? Pilate asked him, what did he do? He said unto him, God forbid, thou shalt not die. Behold, my father will do nothing, either great or small, but that he will show it me. Why should my father hide this thing from me? It is not so. And David swore moreover, and said, Thy father certainly know that I have found grace in thine eyes. And he said, Let not Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly as Yah live, and as thy soul live, there's a step between me and death. Then said Jonathan unto David, Whatsoever thy soul desire, I will even do it for thee. And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon. I should not fail to sit with the king at meat, but let me go. Because don't you know if the people gather to assemble, don't you think they would eat too? That I may hide myself in the fields unto the third day at even. I'm going to ask y'all a question. When it say that I will hide myself in the field to the third day at even, is this saying that this is the third day of the week or the third day of the month? Anybody? Anybody else? Anybody else want to take a crack at it? Is this the third day of the week or the third day of the month? Anybody else want to take a crack at it? I'm asking for a reason. I ain't saying nobody was right or nobody was wrong. I just want to hear what everybody got to say. Ray just said week. Delta say month. Anybody else want to take a crack at it? Don't be. You say the third day of the week. Who else want to take a crack at it? Nicole say third day of the week. Who else want to take a crack at it? Everybody else say the week. How y'all get third day of the week out of that? That man ain't said nothing about no week. He said the new moon coming, and I'm a hide on the third day at even, which would be the third day of the month. If the new moon the first day of the month, and he said I'm a hide to the third day at even, where you get the third day of the week from? The reason why I mentioned this and I asked, because I just want to hear, it ain't to mess with nobody, because I know some of y'all didn't know, some of y'all weren't too confident in your answer. But the reason why I asked, because I spoke to someone today that say, see, the week start over when the new moon come in, because David said, I'm a hide till the third day at even. He said nothing about a week. None whatsoever. See, sometimes you look at stuff you read too fast. That's why some of y'all got third day of the week out of that. Your key in that whole passage was the new moon is tomorrow. So that means they knew the last day of the month was in. The next day, the first day of the month. He said, I'm a hide to the third day of the month. Remember now, a week don't start over because a month come in. That's what these people are telling you with a new moon. When a new moon come in, the whole week start all over again. Don't you know how dumb that would be? Let's just say the new moon fall on the Sabbath. But see, they say the new moon will never fall on the Sabbath because the Sabbath will be on the 29th of the month. But what you going to do in months with us 30 days or 31 days? You know, last year we had 13 months in a year. We didn't have 12. We had 13. What they going to do with that? You remember that we had 13 months last year. What they going to do with that? Don't y'all know that this man said and sat back that there was a man coming to try to kill him, and he said he would hide in the wilderness for 3 days? Till even? And then the Messiah hide in the grave for 3 days till even? So you look at verse 6. If thy father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me that he might run to Bethlehem, his city. For there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. And if he say thus, it is well, thy servant shall have peace. But if he be raw, then be sure that evil is determined by him. Therefore thou shalt have deal kindly with thy servant, for thou hast brought thy servant into a covenant of Yah with thee. Notwithstanding, if there be in me iniquity, slay me thyself. For why should thou bring me to thy father? You know, that's some strong thing right there. David say, Jonathan, if it be some sin in me, how about you kill me? How about you do it? You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Yahshua told them people, which one of you convinced me of a sin? And if I tell you the truth, why you seek to kill me? If it be some sin in me, how about you kill me then? Romans chapter 6, verse 1. I just had to mention, and there's one more place that the new moon is mentioned. Let me find it. I can't remember the verse off the top of my head. So y'all can know all the places where it's mentioned. Come over here to 2 Kings chapter 4 so you can see the last place where it's mentioned. Find the verse that I want. 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 20. And when he had taken him and brought him to his mother, he sat her knees till noon, and then he died. And then died. And she went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God, and shut the door upon him, and went out. And she called unto her husband, and said, Send me, I pray thee, one of the young men and one of the asses, that I may run to the man of God, and come again. And he said, Whither wilt thou go to him today? It is neither new moon, nor Sabbath. And she said, It shall be well. Again, you say that man said it's not the first day of the month, neither is it the Sabbath. You straight. If my memory serves me correctly, those are all the locations in this book where the new moon is mentioned. It's not mentioned in a lot of places. You get anywhere where he's telling you to keep the Sabbath based off a new moon out of this? Romans chapter 6 now. I just got to make sure, man. So y'all know this stuff, so you won't be coming and running to me talking about somebody said keep the Sabbath by the new moon, and you already been heard this stuff. Don't you come running to me asking me about it. And we done already showed it to you. I'm for real now. Don't make no sense to do it. Hold on, we got one more place we can mention it to. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many of us were baptized into Yahshua HaMashiach, were baptized unto his death? Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as the Messiah was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we should walk in newness of life. For when we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, which will be the rest or the Sabbath, we shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection. Because a new moon or a new month, he was made a new creature, spiritual being, son of God. Was he not? Eternal, in the heavens. Look at Colossians 2 and 16. That's the only other location where a new moon is mentioned. Almost forgot it. Almost forgot it. Colossians 2 and 16. Listen to what he said. Let no man therefore judge you in meat, or in drink, or respect of Kodesh day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of the Messiah. So we know any feast day, whether it's Passover that was symbolizing his death, Pentecost was sending down the Spirit, trumpets is blowing the trumpets of when he would come back. Day of Atonement is when he made the atonement for our souls. Tabernacles is when we get gathered up. That's a shadow of things to come. The Sabbath was a shadow of this man dying and giving us rest. The new moon is a shadow of us being born again or made new. Which, Lord permit, we're going to deal with that more in depthly Sabbath night about being sons of God, becoming new, being made in that likeness or image. So these things are a figure to come. Nowhere in any of this verse, I'm going to ask everybody, anything that we looked at tonight, did any of this stuff tell you to keep the Sabbath based off the new moon? We read every place where the new moon is mentioned. Matthew 5:17. I just got to make it clear. So ain't nobody going to come to me talking about should we keep no Sabbath by no new moon? Or you come tell me you considering it. I'm going to consider to tell you to get from around here. Chelsea know, because her hard-headed friend be going hard on that and dumb as a box of rock. This stinking slut won't text this woman, been done called, text this woman about her well-being. This stinking hoe don't never call Chelsea back. Only time she want to text is when she want to take shots at me. I say, woman, you got a superior problem with God, and you don't even know me to be upset with me. He a false prophet. I'm going to expose him. Yo, I know she don't after that. I know she did after that. She ain't going to do it. Told Chelsea, you don't think for yourself. How many times have I ever told y'all, just take my word for it? Seems like every time we preach, we got this book open, ain't it? I don't know, man. I guess my doctrine mine then. I don't know. Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For truly I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Hallelujah for Yahshua. Y'all understood all this stuff this evening?